in World War II, they put Japanese in America into internment camps.
I absolutely applaud this creator's reply to that stunningly ignorant comment she received. I encourage you to go watch the video. But if you read that comment, you notice that this comment was talking about the Vietnamese, and judging by their name, the commenter is Vietnamese. And I have to hope that this is not the portrait of the typical Vietnamese Americans, because how could they forget the nature of their own arrival? According to the UNHCR statistics, between 1975 and 1997, the total number of Vietnamese refugees, most of them arriving in boats, otherwise known as boat people, were just over 400,000. When you pair that with the census estimate that there were around 770,000 Vietnamese people living in the US in 1997, it implies that the majority of Vietnamese people in the US now can trace their roots back to arriving in the US as refugees. So for a member of the Vietnamese community to completely reject the value which their predecessors relied on is truly disgraceful. And it's just terrible however you spin it. On one hand, if you really didn't know, that it means that one forgot literally the greatest historical element that essentially defines the story of your diaspora. Then on the other hand, if you did know, then that's just evil. To deny empathy and compassion to others in similar plights, fully knowing that you are a beneficiary of such empathy and compassion. But I never want to assume first that people are evil. They might really just be forgetting. So here are two books I recommend so nobody forgets the plight that the Vietnamese went through. First is Kim Thuy Rue, and the other is Wandering Souls by Sissel Pin. Funny enough, neither is exactly about the Vietnamese Americans. This one is about the Vietnamese who ended up in Quebec, and this one is about the Vietnamese who ended up in the UK. But both are very relevant, and they are just gut-wrenching stories of the Vietnamese diaspora who literally threw their lives into the ocean, risking everything. So please, don't forget your history. And this isn't just about the Vietnamese diaspora. This is for all of us, because it's just so shameful, right? This is the biggest dishonor, to quite literally spit on your ancestors' sacrifice by siding with the people who would have, without a doubt, kicked them straight back out into the ocean if they had their way.